Can't believe we have to go through the fucking Luzet mountains again. This is so stupid. This is what I would call padding out a game's length. It's just like, here, you went through this area, go through it again. Fun, right? Just do it again. Enemies are stronger, fun, right? Like, I literally went through this area, I went through J-Base and the Underground Railroad ruins, and now I'm just back here again. Doing this again. To get to J-Base. Wait, we're fighting our way to J-Base. Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize when they said that. I was like, oh, we're going back to camp. No, we're going to J-Base, aren't we? So what exactly does that mean for us? Are we going to take on guy at the source? I don't know that that's a good idea, but I guess that's what we're doing. This game's getting.
Oh, lightning strike down the enemy.
I just want to break through. I mean, we want to break through. That's what I want to do. I think this is the way to go. I feel happy with this. I wish I understood this better, though. If I had to say, I was mentioning before how I was watching a lot of YouTube videos. There's a couple other ones I want to talk about. The other day I watched a, oh, they lowered our defense. I want to make sure I'm not getting fucking destroyed.
You're mine.
The other day I was watching Sarah Zed video. She was talking about is it the McElroy brothers. She did a video about that, which I found to be really interesting. I'm not sure if I'm like fully on board with like the way she's like talking about this whole situation is like, it's just like, Jesus Christ, how can anyone really live up to the standards of this audience? Like, how do you just, like, I don't know, it's like they go over every single little thing that you do and like every single story plot point and how you play it out. And it's a Dungeons and Dragons game, so it's like, you know, it goes how it goes, you know, people react in certain ways. It's not like, and yet you have all these people that are like analyzing it and being like, that wasn't very well handled. You could have handled this characterization, this like portrayal of like whatever. And it's just like, oh my god, dude. Like there's apps like I don't know if like it just seems to me there's a lack of like self-awareness and a lack of realization here that like what you're doing is putting intense pressure on people that are on your side to like be absolutely perfect about how they handle every single thing, even in a game that's like, you know, off the cuff. It's just role played in the moment. It's like you gotta say the right things and portray things perfectly, and you can't, like, oh my god, man. I don't know. I like Sarah Zed videos. I like listening to her viewpoints and her talk about stuff. But like when she's talking about something like this, I was just like, they're just dudes, you know. These are just guys out there like trying to be the best that they can, and yet they face all of this criticism from people that are claimed to be their fans, you know. And it's just like, why open yourself up to all of that?
That was rather simple.
You know, like why? It just seems like more harm than, like, more heartache than it is. And I know a lot of people would probably be like, well, you know, it's worth it to do the right thing. That's what you have to do. You're doing the right. They're doing the right thing, so they have to be held up to sometimes it's harder to do the right thing than the easy thing, or than the hard. It's easier to do. It's harder to do the right thing than the wrong thing. I agree with that, but like, it's literally like it's the audience that's making it hard. Like, it's just it's those people, and they don't have to make it as hard as they do, you know? I don't know, man. I just feel bad for them listening to all that. I'm like, holy fuck, all this shit they have to deal with from their audience. Does anybody agree with me on that? I don't know. It was like a 2-hour video. I recommend watching it, and like, because I don't want to get into detail about all of that, but it's just like, goddamn, dude. I couldn't handle that shit. I would bail on the first opportunity and be like, all right, I'm gonna go find somebody else to. I'm gonna find a different audience. These guys seem to do everything they can to push me away, and I'm not dealing with that.
Freezes all, come here.
I mean, there is a reason that the problematic people seem to be much more laid back. I did air quotes when I said problematic, because they just have an easier time. I mean, when your whole identity is based around kind of being controversial, or you know, kind of being controversial, like nobody can give you shit for anything, you know. So that's kind of just the way to go. It feels like nobody can really criticize you because that's just who you are, you know. Everybody's like, oh, I expect that from him. But when you try to be completely the opposite, it's impossible. It's an impossible situation you put yourself in. I don't know, man.
Suffer the punishment of heaven.
Anyways. Yeah, I
That was an easy victory.
I do like Sarah Zed videos. I actually feel like I watch every single one of her videos. I think it's just interesting to me. And the stuff she says is, I don't know, it's all just interesting, you know. I'm trying to remember the last video she did was like was it the Homestuck one? Because I had a friend in college who was really into Homestuck. So I was kind of interested in that.
This'll teach you.
I tried to get it in Homestuck, but it was just like, I started from the beginning because I really can't. I can't start something in the middle of it. I just can't do that. So I started from the beginning, and it was just like, it was kind of hard to get through. I was like, when does this start getting interesting or good? This is kind of dull. It's like kind of an interesting idea, I guess, of like this combination of comic book and like at times gameplay. Like there's like Flash games embedded within it. You play that, and then there's an animation. Like there's different like things per thing. But like, I don't know. I read a bunch of it and just couldn't really get to find the like meat and potatoes of it, and like what's so great about this. I don't know. I don't get it.
Take this.
I kind of got it. It's just like it takes a while, and there's certain like the trolls. I think that once you get to like the trolls section, that's when everybody's like obsessive over it. And I don't know. I might have just gotten to that, but still was like by that time I was like, I don't really care. I don't know. So I watched her like whole retrospective on it. Very interesting. The Onceler thing. Oh god.
What a
The Onceler fandom. That same girl that was like into Homestuck also was into like that Onceler thing for that one like a couple months. Just obsessed over this character. It was like so weird. I did not get it. I watched the movie with them. I'm like, okay, it's kind of a dumb movie. And yet, I don't know. She was just obsessed with this character. And like this song. It kind of had a resurgence for a little bit there. I remember seeing it pop up as like a meme. Maybe not that song, but like the movie in general was kind of became a meme for a little while. But yeah, that stuff does fascinate me, I guess, because I like lived through it. Like, even though I wasn't into that stuff, I knew people that were, and so, like, I don't know. I find it interesting to like kind of study the psyche of like a person that was in the middle of it and like why people became obsessed. And that's kind of what her videos seem to shed light on. So that's partly why I watch her videos. I think she's great. But yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that last video with the Elroy, is it McElroy brothers? I remember I watched their. I had a coworker who was really into their like monster. What's it called? Monster.
That freezes all, come here.
Monster Builder, Monster Maker. What the fuck's it called? Monster Factory series on Polygon. And we used to watch like every one of those videos, and we would just like crack up laughing. It's a lot of the early videos.
100 million degrees. Take that.
Yeah. Thought that shit was hilarious. Still is hilarious. But that was like my only exposure to them. And yeah, just listening to that, I'm like, oh god, what have you guys gotten yourself into?
There.
I don't know. Like there definitely needs to be some self-reflection in that community, because they have to realize at some point that they're just destroying themselves from the inside, you know. They're just like, they only attack each other, and they attack each other the hardest, you know. And it's just like, bro, you're on the same side. You're all fighting for the same thing, and you don't.
Hocus pocus.
You just destroy each other. You just you know.
Please protect
Anyways,
us.
moving on. Like yeah, like Lindsay Ellis got canceled like a while back for the same shit, like some stupid thing. She compared some movie, some was it a Pixar or a Disney movie? I don't know. She compared it to Avatar, and that was the whole. And she got canceled for that. It was just so ridiculous. It's like, come on, guys. Can you guys like just calm down for like half a second and stop trying to find problems in like everything? I don't know, man.
Go, magical art.
Genuinely though, I do kind of fear for that
Here you go.
sometimes. I'm like, when I'm talking out here, I like, there's many times where I'm like, oh man, what if someone finds this and they're like, this guy, this guy's a monster, he's a villain.
There.
You know, just for what I'm saying. I do think about it. It's something that sits in the back of my mind sometimes. It's stupid, and I know it's stupid, and I shouldn't worry, but I don't know. I do find myself like trying to, I don't know, make sure I'm not saying
Please
anything that's like
protect
too
us.
I don't know, something that's messed up from like an idealistic standpoint. But I don't know, it really shouldn't matter to me. So at the same time, I respect people that don't bother with that, because I think, oh wow, she's maxed everything out, huh? Wow, everything I could possibly use is maxed out.
That was rather simple.
I don't know. It's partly why when I'm in editing, I like will be like, oh, I can't believe I said that. Like I had that whole thing where I was talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I was like, man, that was poorly worded, you know. And so I was like, I gotta like make sure I clarify what I was trying to say there. So I did that. And I still think about that. I'm like, God, that video is just gonna be up, and like maybe somebody will watch it and be like, oh my God, I can't believe he said something like this. I'm like, God, I just hope it's not that poorly worded, and that, you know, I don't know. I at least have that clarification up later, you know. So I don't know, man. I want to not worry about that stuff, but it's hard because
Please protect us.
it's something I see all the time, you know. I spend a lot of time on YouTube and I follow certain people. Anyways, I watched some like weird hour to 2 hour long like videos about. There was this channel that's about criminal psychology or something, and they post like interrogations and stuff. And man, it was a bit morbid to like watch. I was a bit like, it's kind of depressing. I was like, man, because it sucks for just everybody involved. It's hard for me to even get some satisfaction out of like somebody, like some murderer getting caught in a lie, because I'm just like thinking the whole time, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like in their mind, like what are they even going through? Because you know, what they're dealing with is like, I'm gonna go to prison for the rest of my life. Like my life is over, and that's like, how do you even deal with that shit? Like it's hard for me like not to feel bad for them, even though like it's like they deserve it, but like I don't know, I can't, it just depresses me, the whole thing, man. And yet, so I watched a couple of those. There was one that I found especially kind of rough, which was the like there's this girl Jody, and she was basically this crazy, like I think this was a recent news story, and she kills her boyfriend, right? And so this video is kind of just like picking her apart, like what she's doing and what she's saying, like shows like how obviously, like it's so obvious that she's just lying and trying to manipulate the situation, but like nobody's buying it, and yet she continues to try. And you know, I'm like, in a way, there's this like kind of, there's this humor to it that he tries to bring into it. I even saw like a clip video that was like the most ridiculous parts of the Jody trial. And I was like, God damn, like what? This is some like morbid. I don't know, man. That's a different style of humor, is to like laugh at somebody's like I don't know. I guess I can't. There's not a word for it, is there? It's like I'm thinking of like, oh, misfortune, but it's like they did it to themselves. They deserve it. I just can't find much satisfaction in that, or humor, really. Like, yeah, she's being dumb, but like, I don't know, man. Anyway, I guess not to say anybody that it does find satisfaction or enjoy or satisfaction in that
Please
is
protect us.
a bad person or anything. I wouldn't say that, but I just don't think I can. I just don't think I have that in me. Anyways, I watched the lockpicking lawyer did a video about that, like that lock. I actually saw that video of this guy trying to make like an unpickable lock, and I've been waiting for this video for so fucking long. See, I just unlocked Ice Slash, and yet it's at max level. I think it just depends on my level in each individual thing, whether or not I can master it. So I think I'm going about this level right now. But we are all plagued, so that's definitely something to consider.
Please protect us.
Man, I didn't realize how many kind of like morbid topics I had on here. This is not a very happy episode. I'm sorry. I thought these would be more fun. Like, when I was watching them in the moment, I'm like, oh, this is kind of an interesting thing to talk about. And now I'm here talking about them, and I'm like, oh, wow. Well, actually, no. Okay, so the lockpicking lawyer thing is not that... it's not that weird. It's not that bad, I meant to say. So it's basically this guy makes a lock, and he's like, this is unpickable. And, you know... the conceptualization of it was interesting, and I'm like, yeah, we'll send that, and he sent that to the lockpicking lawyer to see, hey, try to pick this, see if you can. And so I've been waiting for this video to come out. I'm like, oh, it must be really hard for him to pick, or else, like, he would have just put out a video immediately, right? Well, it turns out, you know, he finally put a video out, and not only did he like pick the lock, but he also picked this like revision that the guy had made later to like make an even better lock. And he managed to get both open by just exploiting these like very simple things. It was just like, oh my god, dude. That poor man. He spent so much time on this. You watch this video, and he's like, I think this is unpickable. I don't think he's going to get through. And then it's like a 10-minute video of him being like, well, so he wasn't aware of certain exploits that most people.
Please protect us.
And he, oh, man. That was wild. That was a wild video. But I really like Lockpicking Lawyer. I watch it all the time. Just to watch him, like, lockpick something that, like, shouldn't... Like, you're not supposed to be able to. That's the whole point of locks. And, like, he almost makes it look like locks don't do anything. He almost makes it look like there's no point to a lock, you know? Because like, I don't know. There must be some that he can't lockpick, but he doesn't really highlight that. If there's one that's like really good and he can't get through, he only really makes a video whenever there's a lock that he can't get through, or he can get through. I mean, that's when he makes the video. So it makes it look like most locks are easy to get through, right? But I don't know.
Not bad.
Most locks barely work. And he usually uploads, it's less than 10 minutes usually, the video. And only like half of that he actually spends trying to pick the lock. And he's like, alright, and well, as you can see, this lock has a very obvious exploit. And it's like, oh my god, dude. Oh no. Oh no, man. Are we safe? Are we safe from anything? If any of our locks can be lock-picked at any time? He does usually try to clarify if, like... If like, he'll say, oh, well, so here's the issue, is that most people probably won't have the tools with which to pick this lock. Man, there was one where it was like a bike lock that somebody sent to him, and he's like, so I sent this, I called the locksmith, they couldn't open this bike lock, they said they couldn't open it. And I was telling him, lockpicking lawyer, he probably could do it. He's like, oh, you send it to him, and he does it, you know, we'll give you, I don't know, whatever. And lockpicking lawyer's like, all right, well, I'll try to lockpick it, and he lockpicks it in like a few seconds. And he's like, so, situation here is most locksmiths probably won't have the tools with which to do this, so he was not lying to you. But it is pickable. It's just that most people don't have the tools to do it. Even a locksmith doesn't have the correct tool. I don't know. It's so interesting to have like I don't know, a specific like hobby that you can kind of like make videos about. I've been thinking I might try to get into that a little bit. Because obviously, like, I'm a programmer, I'm a coder, so I feel like I could make a few videos about that. Maybe just, I've been thinking of like maybe going to, so my idea is maybe to go to like Code Academy or something and just go through random coding challenges and just do them, and kind of explain with my extra knowledge that I have about coding, about how to go about doing that, what this information means. I feel like I could do that.
100 million degrees.
It's hard for me to just like explain it to people without any sort of like reason to talk about it, but
Oh, lightning, strike down the enemy.
you know, with something I'm trying to do and being able to explain that, I think that could work really well. So I might do that. I'm thinking it could be one of the three series. Like if once I run out of Sporkle episodes or Among Us, probably I'm gonna run out of Sporkle before Among Us. So I might replace Sporkle with that. And I think it's actually kind of a good substitute for the Sporkle videos. That kind of works. It's kind of like a similar idea. But yeah, I wanna see how that'll go. I think that could be interesting, so I look forward to that. Yeah, I don't know. Do I want to talk about Valheim again? We played a little bit more of Valheim, and I don't know. I was actually when I edited the last video, I was like listening to it back, and midway through the Grandia episode, I think, where I was talking about this,
Oh, power of ice.
I paused it and I was like, I started thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, I think I could, next time I talk about Valheim, I could talk about this and this and this, and I kind of feel this way about it. And then I like unpaused the video and I literally said exactly the same shit I was just like formulating in my head. I was like, what the fuck? That's so weird. Yeah. So that's pretty wild, right? Yeah, I guess I feel kind of the same way. I ended up playing with Thunder, Jason, and Preston, and they're like, they've put hundreds and hundreds of hours into the game, right? And it was just me and them because there was nobody else. Trevor wasn't there, Mark wasn't there. So, like, they all knew exactly what the fuck they were doing. And I just kind of got left behind. It's just like they were like, okay, we got to go to the second boss. Like we got to go on this thing, and then we got to find this rock, and that rock will point out where the next boss is, and then we go to the next boss, and then we got to offer up like some seed, and then we fight this thing. But you got to be careful because you got to he shoots roots at you, so you got to hide behind the pillars because you can't destroy the pillar. It's like all this shit, and I'm like, I don't. Is this fun? If you're just telling me what to do, I felt really like left behind. They were like, okay, we all got troll armor. Like there was a point at which I was trying to like Punder was way out in the wilderness, and I'm like, okay, I'll come find you, I'll come meet you, and like and she ended up dying like right when I got there, and I was like, all right, I'll just sit here, protect your body, and it took her forever to come back, and in that time I killed a troll. There was one troll. I'm like, I can kill this troll, and I felt really good about it because I killed the troll. And so I ended up dying right when they got to me. So I was like, fuck. Now I gotta make my way all the way over there. And then when I got back, my body back, I was like kind of upset because I was like, hey, you guys stole my troll hide. You clearly stole it from my body. Like they obviously did it as kind of a joke, but at the same time it's like you literally just took like that was hard to get. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it, we've got like 15. And I'm like, what the fuck? They just had all of this troll hide, and when we got back, like they just made me we were all able to get full troll hide armor. I'm like, oh my god, I feel so useless. I just feel useless. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm just getting strung along here. Then they started talking. Well, the way we got back was we made like a teleporter. They're like, okay, so we got to make a teleporter. So we need like these eyes, and we need to get this specific wood. And I'm like, okay. I have no clue. I'm lost. At this point, I'm lost. I have no clue what they're talking about anymore. I don't know how they know how to do any of this. Like, I really don't understand how you're supposed to figure any of this out. I tried to ask them, like, when we got to the second boss shrine, I literally read the stone, and it's like, kill his kin. It was like all it said, or something like that. Something to that effect. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And they're like, oh, you gotta go around and you read all the rune stones, and they like tell you what to do. And I'm like, I don't know if I believe that. Because I read some of the other rune stones I stumbled across, and all of them talk about Grey Dwarfs. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's a stone out there that just says, oh, you know, that other rune stone at the second boss's thing, and it means that you have to give it an ancient seed. Like, no, it doesn't. There's no way. There's no way that's something out there. Like, how would you... I don't know. I don't understand this, and I don't like really that gameplay thing where a lot of the information kind of exists outside of the game. You have to like play this meta game of like reading shit outside of it. I hate that. I hate that so much. I don't want to do that. But I don't know. I was really starting to get kind of sick of it. Just not because of that, but just because like, I was getting left behind. It didn't feel very satisfying to kind of be strung along and just be kind of handed stuff. I'm like, this isn't fun. I don't know. It's just not fun for me to do that. I much prefer, like, it's part of the issue I have with these survival games sometimes is like if you're not all on the same page, all the fun gets zapped out of it. People just tell you what to do, and you're like, okay, I guess I'll do that. If that's the correct way to do it, as you're saying. You know what I mean? I don't know. So, yeah, I ended up kind of having a rough time with it. I feel like they're probably gonna want to play it again at some point, and I'll probably still play with them because I don't know, I hate being left out. I hate that feeling of being left out of stuff, so I guess I'll join. Just so I don't know, just have something to do. Just kind of need it. What is this? Oh no, Justin! Gaia has begun to evolve. What? Oh, they're still at J-Base? Gaia movement observed. Metamorphosis proceeding to second form. Battle stations. Colonel, look! It's Lieutenant Lean. What's going on? Sir, it's Lieutenant Lean. Lieutenant Lean was heading for Turret 3. What? I haven't given the attack order yet. What is she doing? Whew. Attention all personnel. Movements observed in Gaia's lateral area. Attention Colonel Mullen. Gaia's main body is heading towards J-Base. Prepare invasion defense. Why? Why has Lean chosen a time like this? Big yikes. Alright. And we're back once again. I'm a little late on recording this. Probably should have done it a few days ago, but I didn't do that, so here we are. This is gonna be a late video, and I hope that's okay with everyone. I'm sorry. I don't know. I thought I should have recorded this yesterday, and I should have done that. But I don't know. It was the weekend. I felt like we hadn't really, like, I wanted to try to play a game with somebody. They kind of talked about it, like wanting to play a game, and so I was like, well, it's Saturday. Like, we didn't play a game Friday. I'm like, I kind of want to just try to get it happening tonight. So I just asked to see if anybody wanted to. And otherwise, I was like, all right, I'll just record Grandia. Then if not, I was actually gonna do it, but
Oh, lightning! Strike down the enemy!
well, I got a message. Basically, the reply I got was to join. I got asked to join the Valheim server, and I talked about this already, but like,
100 million degrees. Take that.
yeah, I kind of just decided that I would only really do it if there was somebody in there. If somebody else joined that would be like on the same level as me. But nobody else was really replying, so
Back with reinforcements.
I ended up just playing Overwatch instead, and I just did that. So I think the situation was a little awkward, and I didn't really know the best way to try to communicate my thoughts there, and I thought it best to just kind of say it. I was just like, I don't really feel like playing that right now. Because I didn't want to say, like, I don't know. I don't really want to play Valheim, like, at all, because I would kind of play it, but in a different circumstance. But then I kind of felt like if I word it in a certain way, it'll be like, I just don't want to play with you. Which isn't really true. It's not like a personal thing. You know, it's not like, oh, I just don't like you. It's more just, you know, I want to play with people on the same level as me. I don't know. Does that make sense? So, yeah, we ended up just playing Overwatch, which I felt, you know, I don't know. I was in a weird mood yesterday. I didn't think I was. I spent most of the day playing RE8. I started playing RE8, so I was having a really good time with that. And, yeah, I don't know. I hopped on a Discord with Shriver. It was just me and him for a while, just kind of chatting and playing Overwatch. I kind of told him like what I was feeling about that, and I felt like, you know, it seemed to be okay. It seemed to be like, oh yeah, that's totally understandable. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, I'm worried about being like an asshole or unreasonable or something here. I always worry about that, but turns out, I guess it was normal. He also said he felt the same way about. Apparently, he played Terraria with us once, and we were just like telling him what to do, and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't really like that." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even remember him playing Terraria with us," but I can totally understand that. Like, yeah, relatable. Like, I don't. Yeah, I feel that. And you know, I said the same thing. It's like survival games, just in general. It's like I just feel like it's better if we're all on the same page. I also communicated. I basically said everything that I kind of said on the channel. So, luckily, it's not a situation where I can't say the things I'm feeling to certain people. Apparently, it's fine. So, I don't know what I mean by that exactly. Oh, I guess I mean, like, I'm not using this show as like an outlet to say things I couldn't say in person, you know? I don't want to do that. I feel like I have been doing that, and I don't think that's good. I don't think that's a healthy thing necessarily. I think it's fine to talk about stuff, but that's like on my mind, but I definitely don't want to use it as like, oh, it's okay to say this here if I don't have the balls to say something about it in person, you know? Does that make sense? I don't want to be that guy.
100 million degrees. Take that.
I mean, I know that anybody, these are public videos, like and my friends all know my YouTube channel, so they could watch this stuff and be like, I can't believe he's talking about that. Oh my god, I can't believe he said that. In which case, I would be like, oh shit, sorry, I didn't realize that would be kind of as inflammatory as you think it is. That hasn't happened.
All right, we won.
But you know what I mean? Anyways, I don't know. I got in a mood last night. I don't know what it was. Like I regretted it. Man, I don't know. I regretted it. Like kind of. At the same time, I'm like, I mean, it's clearly like they riled me up, and like they always do. Like they always do this. It's like they rile me up and they like bully me the whole time, and then, you know, sometimes it just takes some little stupid thing, and I get set off, and I like, once I get to that place, it's like hard to go back. And I was like, I was annoyed with my behavior after that. Like I was like, God, I shouldn't have. I don't know. I was a bit salty afterwards, but I felt like, in the moment, I mean, there's no way for me to revisit this because it's just like nobody was recording it or streaming it or anything, so it's just like it's gonna be in our memories how people remember it. And so I might be choosing to remember it a certain way, but I felt like it wasn't that. Like I felt like I wasn't.
100 million degrees. Take that.
I don't think I was in the wrong, first of all, and I don't think anybody was really like upset by what I said. But basically, one of my friends, so they invited this random guy. Okay, so the whole context, right, is that as you know, I play Diva. I play Diva a lot. It's like my main. So we had this like Diva player on our team in like quick play, and so they started like making jokes and like, oh wow, an actually good Diva player, wow, let's shit like that, you know. And then they invite him to our team, like say nothing to him, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? I was just like so. Like, you guys just invited this guy, and then they just think, like, we're just saying nothing to him. Like, what is this? This is such a weird thing to do. And so I'm like, alright, well, I'm gonna be the guy that, like, talks to him. And so I did. So I talked to him. Cause I was saying like it's really awkward if we like invite him and like nobody's talking to him. And so I say so. I don't even remember what I said, but he made like my friend's like, wow, that's even more awkward than not talking to him. Like, wow, that's awkward. It set me off. I got set off. I was like, are you kidding me? Like like the thing I said actually speaking to this person is more awkward than everybody just saying absolutely nothing to him. That's more awkward. Like I was just, I don't know. It set me off because it just was so nonsensical and stupid, and was like this whole thing was just a dig at me at the beginning. You know, I don't know if there's any other way I could have like interpreted like they clearly invited him because like, you know what I mean? I know it's one of those things that like in like, you can just write it off and be like, no, we just thought he was really good and we invited him. But how am I supposed to see it that way? I just can't see it that way. That's not the way that it was. They knew what they were doing when they invited this guy. Oh, and I got kind of set off and like, I don't know.
100 million volts.
I was just in a really bad mood. I started yelling. I said in the moment, and I wasn't yelling in like an angry way, but I was raising my voice in like a what's the word? Like a flabbergasted sort of way. Like, I can't believe you're saying this. Like, I cannot believe this.
Oh, power of ice.
But I was speaking very loudly, and I knew I was doing it, and I was like, I can't. Even in the moment, I was like, I gotta stop doing this. I can't go to that place.
Pretty easy.
I was already there, though. I couldn't, you know. And then I was just in a bad mood for the rest of the night, and like, I ended up going to I ended up kind of just joining the team chat and being like, all right, well, I'm gonna join the team chat. I don't remember at this point like what my logic there was, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna be exclusively in the team chat talking to this guy. Please join team chat. I think that point was like, we should be talking to this guy because we invited him. That was my logic there was like, all right, as kind of a dig, I'm gonna join that and mute in Discord. Definite Discord, right? And then it'll be like, oh, well, we all have to do it now. And then if they don't do it, they'll feel bad, right? And it just, I don't know, it just kind of made things worse because I was just like sitting here and I'm like, I don't know what to say to this guy. I think I rejoined and I don't know. There's a point at which I was just like,
You'll be okay.
I just started repeating the things they were saying because they weren't communicating to him. Like, all right, so this person said this.
100 million volts. Take that.
And I think I actually ended up like, I think to him, to this random guy, I probably sounded extremely toxic. Like I was just being an asshole to this guy. I didn't care about him. It was just like, I was just trying to make a point, and I don't know, so I felt kind of bad about all of that, but I don't really know what I said, and he just kind of left, and I was like, well, is that my fault? Probably. But do I care? I don't know. I in the moment, I was like, I don't care. I'm just gonna, I'm making a point. I don't care. This is what I'm doing. I don't care what he thinks.
They're there.
I don't know, man. I went off. But I don't know. I think maybe I was able to calm myself down a little bit because like
Everyone, here we go.
there was another night where I kind of had another thing where I kind of got upset about. It's always Overwatch, man. I feel like that's the one where I just get shat on like constantly, and it puts me in the worst mood. And it's like it's a combination of things. It's just like You know, I get kind of piled up. I don't even know why I'm the like target all the time. I don't know how I ended up here, but it's just like I can't.
Please
I don't know.
protect us.
There's very little I can do. Like if I play really well, like they don't want to give me credit for it, like at all. Like, oh, I got to play the game. Oh, I got, 4 gold medals, and they're like, wow. And it's always the joke, like someone will vote for me, but like, wow, you voted for yourself. Again, it's just like, come on. And they're like so nice to each other, They'll be like, oh wow, you did a great job, nice heals, good. They're like nothing but nice to each other. And like I just can't win, I like.
Ha! Take that, I'll kill ya!
No matter what I do, I'm like, I played really well. It'd be nice to get some encouragement or something. I get nothing. I just get bullied. And I don't know. Like in the moment, I can accept. I've gotten better at being like, okay, well, just don't don't engage. Just like let it go. Like it's a joke. They're just making jokes. It's and I most of the time I'm like okay with it. I'm like fine with it. Like I don't care that much. But then it puts me in this place where it's like the minute there's something that's like feels genuinely unfair that they say, like it's not that hard to like set me off, I think, into like a really dark place. And yeah, man. So that was my Saturday, and then we ended up doing a I'm running out of magic already. Then we ended up doing, like when I joined back, there was one point, the very last thing we did, like I went to the bathroom and I'm like, I'm gonna make Trevor leader. And so I make him leader, I come back, they're in a fucking custom game, which initially I thought was like cookie clicker, because that's what it kind of looked like. I'm like, okay, so they just joined the fucking cookie clicker thing because they know it'll annoy me when I come back. And so I just immediately left. I'm like, can't deal with this right now. Just gonna leave. And then I opened my loot boxes, and then I checked, and it was actually not, it was a gun game, I think, they were doing. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll rejoin that, but I was just not in a good headspace for it. I ended up being really competitive, and I'm really not a competitive person, but it was just like, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna be better than everybody else to just, I don't know, feel better.
Please protect us.
And in my defense, I was raising the ranks of the characters quickly, and I was like, wow, I'm doing pretty good here. Of course, it didn't really matter. Nobody cared. And they're like, oh well, you don't have as many kills. And I'm like, I don't care. It's not the game. The game is to get to the, like, I'm not top of the scoreboard because I don't have as many kills, but that's not the point. You raise to the next hero based on the overall damage you do. So that's the game I was playing, and I was winning at it. And they're like, well, you're not getting the most kills. I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. And I don't know, I just ended up being very kind of annoyed
Please protect us.
with that. I actually was about to get, like, literally, he had like 61 kills and I had 60. I got to 60 kills. I said I didn't care, and then I was like, clearly cared about. I hate what I did there, because it's generally something I don't care about. Like, I'm not that person most of the time. It's just when I get annoyed, like, I'll just go to that place and be like, well, if I wanted to be that person, I could do it better than, I can be great. I can do better. I can win. Then I regret it because it's just like, well, I'm just giving them fuel to be mean to me later on. And I'm like, fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I talk about this as if like they're kind of shitty friends. But I talk about this mostly because this is the thing they do that like annoys me, and it's generally, it's only in certain, like in Overwatch is when it's the worst, I think, and I don't know why it's that game. I think because that's one of the games I take seriously and I'm like pretty decent at, so you know, it's got something to do with that, I think. Because every other game I don't take seriously, and then they'll, you know, I don't know, it'll be a different thing, but I think it's just those like competitive like shooter type games. But Overwatch is the only one of those I cared about at all. Anyways, they're mostly, I usually get along with them. It's just sometimes. It's just in games sometimes, especially like something like that. It's like they can really get on my nerves, but I usually take it in stride and it doesn't bother me that much. But usually I can do that. Gotten much better at it over the years, but yeah, I don't know. I went to a place last night and I was like, wow, don't know why it was that, because it wasn't even that big a deal, like, you know, it was just, I don't know, it was so stupid. It was just such a stupid thing to say. I was like, I can't believe this. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he would say something like that. And it didn't even sound like he was joking, but, you know, clearly he likes to say things that, like, are, like, deliberately kind of inflammatory a lot of the time. But I think he does it not really seriously. Just, he usually sounds serious when he does it.
Please protect us.
Anyways. Yeah, I don't know. But like I play other games with them and we have a good time most of the time. So I'm like all out of abilities and shit. Oh, we have Plague again? Fuck this, man.
Please protect us.
Yeah. But I really don't know if I, you know, I feel like I shouldn't care if like they got upset by it because because of the way they act, they're just asinine all the time to me. Like I shouldn't care. At the same time, I'm like, I just don't want this to be brought up like months from now and they'll be like, well, if you acted this way, like I can't, you know. And I know it's gonna happen. Like someday they'll bring this up again and be like, "Oh, we can laugh about this." And it's like I don't feel good about it, you know. It's not something I feel good about or anything.
Please protect us.
I don't know. And then I worry, like, I talk about it here, and I'm like, okay, well, I can talk about this topic, because it's, like, a good venting time. It's a good way to vent about it, and then I'm like, do I just sound like a piece of shit when I talk about this? I don't know. Like, I'm trying really hard to defend myself. And, it's just, it's not working. It's like, no, you're just kind of a dick. That situation. Like, God, I hope not. Well, I also worry that I make it sound far worse than it is as well.
Please protect us.
So, both sides of that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of want to move on and forget about it and hope like it wasn't it wasn't like worse than it should have been. Like it didn't overreact.
Hocus pocus.
That's all really. But then there's no way for me to know, you know, if it gets brought up later, like, wow.
They're there.
Like, well, maybe I did overact in that situation. I don't know. Overreact. I don't know. As far as I think about it right now, I'm like, it's not like I was wrong or in the wrong, and I know why. You know, I felt the way that I did.
That was rather simple.
It's just a question of if it was too much or not. Anyways, moving on from that. I don't think we'll be able to do any Tomorrow Never Dies episodes this week. Trevor said he was busy, so we are not going to record that.
They're there.
Or didn't record it, so I don't know. I have like a couple minutes left over from the previous recording, but it's not enough for an episode.
Please protect
I hope
us.
he didn't like watch it and think like, oh, there's still more episodes here that he can use for the course of the next week, because I literally can't. I don't have any more. That's it. That's all I had.
Hocus pocus.
Yeah, but I am having a thought of like how, because let's see, that was 6 15-minute episodes, right? So that was 30. It was about an hour and a half, right? So reasonably speaking, 45 minutes would probably cover a week. So we might have to do like every other week, or I don't really know. I'm thinking how to do that. He says he wants to record later this week, which means that I might have, I don't know how many more episodes I'd have from that, but then I'd have to start them kind of midweek, in which case I don't know if we're going to do this weekend. So
Hocus pocus.
I don't know. It's going to be a whole thing. We're going to figure that out. We also weren't really sure. I don't know. I've been talking with him about it, and I was like, well, we can do, like, he's like, should we finish this game or should we move on to, oh, Fina's getting absolutely fucking murdered. Well, I'll heal. We'll save her. Maybe not. Maybe she's just dead now. Does Tremor target more than one person? Yeah, it does. Cool.
They're there.
Well, that was really epic. Really liked how the card, everything kind of came together there to kill Fina. Really, really exciting stuff. We're having a rough time here, aren't we? Oh shit, I have enchant. What am I thinking? I could literally
You're mine.
steal MP. Yeah, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I was talking to him yesterday. I was like, well,
Just got out of that one.
you know, I looked it up, and it's not a very long game. Like, we'd probably be able to finish it rather quickly, and I think it's going, like, really well. Everybody seems to be happy with how it turned out. I didn't really want to do a battle. I was really hoping I could suss out the situation and then kind of run back, try to see if I could just go to the save point, but
You're mine.
I'm concerned now. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I watched, I was thinking of a movie to watch. And I ended up watching, I watched the Bo Burnham, like, Inside special. His new comedy special on Netflix. And, I found it to be pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I really understood what he was going for until like the end of it, when he kind of explained his whole like psyche behind it. And I was like, oh, I understand now why this is like so difficult for you, you know? Because at first I was like, I was torn on thinking like this might be a little over dramatic, you know? Like I don't know if they like. I mean, we were all stuck inside, but it's not like, I mean, you would go outside, you know? You could go outside, you could go see people. Like, it's not like you were trapped in a prison or something, you know? It wasn't, like, that bad. But he's, like, making it really, playing up that isolation and that feeling of, like, it was like he was going insane just being, you know, during this quarantine process, and it's like, well, I mean, nobody is going insane. It was like, it's not that bad. Right? And then I got it. I was like, well,
we won.
you know, and I would feel like, yeah, it's different for entertainers because their whole life is like, their favorite thing to do is perform in front of people. So, like, when you cut them off from that thing, it's just like, they lose their, like, life passion. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that they do, you know, and it's like you take that away, they've got nothing, you know. They lose all purpose in life. It's just like, yeah, I can kind of understand the, although, you know, I live a very different life. You know, I'm a computer scientist, so my life does not revolve around people at all. A lot of the time, I end up kind of by myself, you know, just working on a computer. I'm very used to that, and it's not something that's ever really bothered me. So this isn't that far off from the norm for me. I'm just doing that from home. I'm not specifically a people person, but I can kind of be okay with I can be okay with just hanging out with people online, just hearing voices, just playing games with people, just interacting in that way. I don't have to be near people, you know? So I feel like, you know, some people deal with that differently, and some people had a really rough experience. And, like, I felt it in early quarantine. I definitely felt, like, weird, you know? I felt like, I don't know. I did feel kind of trapped, like, not only in that, you know, I was working from home, spending a lot of time at home. I was supposed to avoid people, and I was kind of scared to go out and, like, even go just to go to the store, or, you know, all this stuff. It was like nerve-wracking, you know. Like, I know people have different experiences, but, like, I had a rough time with that. It was just like this fear of, like, if I can stay inside, I will. Like, I'm gonna avoid as much as possible dealing with people. I still visited my parents, though, which I feel kind of was a nice thing. A lot of people, other people, especially people I knew, like, that's kind of, no, you can't go visit your family, you know. We gotta keep everyone safe, especially, you know, with parents that are older. It's like they're at high risk, but I don't know. We just did it. I don't know. I went along because my sisters were okay with it, and so I was like, well, I would be the only one not. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have, like, been like, no, it's probably better if I don't, but I don't know. I think I did it partly for my own, like, well-being of, like, I don't want to be, like, I'm going to take this opportunity to go visit my family, you know? And so I did that. None of us ever got sick, you know, so it ended up being fine in hindsight, but there is a distinct possibility that could have not have been fine. My older sister lives with our parents, and she was, I mean, she was very high risk because she has lung problems already. Like, she gets very bad allergies, and does she have, I don't know if she has asthma. I don't think she has asthma. I think it's just allergies. Seasonal allergies, and they get really bad sometimes. You know, she goes out and she can't function because she can't breathe. So she was kind of terrified that, you know, she really couldn't get this. So she kind of hid in her room most times when we came over. And I guess I did feel bad about that aspect of it. Of like, if she gets sick, this is gonna be, like, we're all gonna feel terrible. Especially if we, like, know it was one of us. Well, I would have felt, like, absolutely horrible. Yeah. But I don't know. I wasn't, like, losing my mind in isolation, I felt like. There was a lot of stuff to kind of keep me occupied. I spent a lot of time on, you know, the computer. I was still working, so I, like, you know, daily functioning, doing work was important. And then, you know, I had a lot of games. I could, like, playing games is a very easy thing to do. You just order a game, it arrives, you just play it, or you can buy something on Steam. It's not, there's no, like, process to it. It's just like, I can just play whatever game I feel like playing right now.
Oh, power of ice!
And a lot of games came out during quarantine, like Animal Crossing was kind of one of the big ones. Final Fantasy VII Remake, I played that. I played quite a lot of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, the DX, like, remake. Or, it's not really a remake, is it? It's kind of like a remaster more so. I played a little bit of that. I should have played, there were some games I avoided because I was, like, trying to get myself back into a system of like working on my backlog, and so I was like, all right, I'll put Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake. I put it on my list, and then I'm like, if it comes up, I'll play it. And Ghost of Tsushima was another one where I did that. And I feel kind of lost, actually. I felt like that felt kind of like the, well, while I'm here, I may as well recover, right? So my friends actually played Ghost of Tsushima. They all played it. They all played, like, Hades. But I was in this place like, oh, no. I'm gonna play my backlog. I'm gonna focus on that. And I ended up playing, like, Hitman, and I played, it really got, I don't know why I keep doing this, you know? It's like, I know that I'm gonna get sick of it. Like, it's just there's gonna be a point at which I'm like, I really just don't want to play this game. Even though it's on my backlog and I want to finish it at some point, like, and it's just not, I'm not gonna, like, there's just gonna be one. There's gonna be that one game that I can't get through. And it ended up being Pillars of Eternity. I just never ended up getting to that end. I got close, but it felt like such a grind of a game. It felt really like, I don't know. I just wanted it to be over. You know, and I was close to the end of the game, but then there was the issue that I realized, oh, I have the 2 DLCs to play as well, which I would include as part of the game. I would, like, kind of tell myself to finish that. And I'm kind of okay that I was like, it was a bad idea anyways. I think it's better. This is my new thought. My new thought is that kind of stuff is better suited for the channel. Like, that's what this is. That's what Grandia is, right? It's just a game from my backlog that I randomly selected to play. And it works out for this because I don't have to focus too, like, it's just kind of a, it is what it is. You know, I react to it in whatever way that I do, but a lot of time I can kind of spend just talking, just chilling. It's not like It's not like a major new title that I'm like super excited to play.
Lightning, strike down the
That I'm like,
enemy.
okay, well I gotta make sure I time this out and like schedule a time to record it, and then I can only play it for this much, and then, you know, I have to, you know, like Grandia, this game is taking me months to get through, you know, months. And yeah, and it like it gets kind of dragged out, where like if I was playing this game, I could probably just play it, like if I was playing it on my own, I could probably just play it a little bit every night,
We won.
and I'd be well done by this game and moved on to something else already. But the way I do this makes it so that that just doesn't happen. You know, it makes it so it really drags. Okay. I might have done something here. Okay. Actually, I'm not sure. So that's the way to go. So what's over here? Oh. See, this is weird because this feels different. Does it not feel different? How am I? So that was just a shortcut all the way back, huh? Yeah, what was I talking about? I don't know. But yeah, I played Age of Calamity, and I'm still, that feels like a really grindy game. Which I've been trying to clear the map of all the, like, additional extra stuff before I move on to the next mission. It makes it very grindy. Very, very grindy. Sorry, I'm kind of lost at the moment, trying to figure out. I don't really know where I'm going anymore. Does this not feel super different? Okay, so this hole is what led me all the way over here. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. But so it might take me a while to finish up that game. I don't even know how much longer is left in the game, but that game's been really interesting, I think. Okay, so that's the way to go, I think. But I want to check because there was like a hole over here somewhere. I was like, have I been in there? Yeah, what is this hole? This leads here. Uh-huh. Okay. It's just a through point. Yeah, but, the story is really interesting, and I wonder if they're gonna continue, like, if, Breath of the Wild 2 is gonna incorporate some of this stuff. Like, if it's gonna be, like, a canon, considered kind of canon part of the story. Because, like, the original Hyrule Warriors isn't. You know, it's just kind of, everybody's like, oh yeah, that's its own, like, little side thing. But this is kind of ingrained in Breath of the Wild specifically, so it's like, maybe this will follow up, but then they might end up, like, confusing people if it's, like, too ingrained, and people are like, what the hell? This doesn't make any sense.
Holy light, seal those of evil heart.
I don't know, it is really interesting. I would recommend Age of Calamity just for the story alone. I think the story is really interesting, and it's not a difficult game. I think it's pretty fun, actually. I have a lot of fun with it, but it does get a little bit grindy at parts of, like, if you're trying to complete it. Which I can't help but do that, so I do it. Yeah, other than that, I'm playing RE8. I really like RE8 so far.
Lightning, strike down the enemy.
In the beginning, there were actually a lot of, like... I love when they do this thing of, like, these references to stuff that you're like, only if you're a big Resident Evil fan will you understand this reference, probably. But But there's a bunch of books in this house, right? Not to be too specific about the story, but there's a bunch of books, and you can read like the authors. One of them is written by George Trevor, which I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. It's a book about architecture by George Trevor. Who George Trevor is. That's a vaguely obscure reference if you don't. Like, I feel like if it were a game I wasn't that interested in, and I played like a couple games in the franchise, I wouldn't know who George Trevor is, you know. But he's the architect who built the Arklay Mansion in Resident Evil 1, famously.
100 million degrees. Take that.
He was killed by Spencer because Spencer wanted to be the only one who knew how to solve the puzzles, and so as soon as George Trevor finished this crazy house, he's like, all right, goodbye, and then he kills him so that he's now the only one. But apart from that, he also kind of kidnaps and tortures his family, which is a very nasty thing to kind of read about. But if you've played RE Remake specifically, or any of the games that like kind of like Umbrella Chronicles kind of covers it, you know, you might remember the character Lisa Trevor. Well, Lisa Trevor is the daughter of the architect George Trevor. One of the creepiest Resident Evil monsters they ever really created. I remember Lisa Trevor scared the shit out of me when I played that game. I'm like, holy fuck. I feel like she's kind of an overrated monster, you know. I feel like everybody talks about Nemesis, or they talked about Mr. X, talk about, you know, the tyrants. Rarely do they talk about Lisa Trevor, you know. She's one of the scariest ones. Just to turn a corner and have her like rambling. Is it rambling? Shambling, I think is the word I'm thinking of. Shambling slowly towards you is like, oh, it's nightmarish. It's simply nightmarish. But yeah, so there's a book on architecture written by him. I'm like, oh, cool. There's another book that's written by Joseph Kendo, and I was like, okay, well, that's kind of stupid. Like, why? Joseph Kendo didn't write a book, dude. Joseph Kendo's if you don't know, he's the owner of Gun Shop Kendo from Resident Evil 2. He's just a dude that owns a gun shop and gets killed in RE2. Wait, yeah, I think, hold on. Yeah, it was RE2, right? I'm now like, wait, was that RE3? No, that was RE2, right? It's because you walk into Gun Shop Kendo, and he's got a gun, and yeah, he ends up like kind of stupidly getting killed like a couple 30 seconds after you meet him. Like, people remember him because he's one of the few characters that's not like, you know, one of the few characters in the game that's like a person that talks to you. And the scene is kind of unintentionally really funny. It's kind of a memorable scene. But I think it's a ridiculous concept to think that he wrote a book on gun safety and whatever. And that this person would have that book. It's like, okay, I'm sure this was a bestseller.